Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we are all well. Today's video is all about business. I made one for a while, so I thought I would deliver this one to you and share with you the experience which I have so far in the business world and running my own businesses. And I think it's quite relevant these days because no doubt everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to start their own business, but I don't think people really understand what that entails. And I think it's certainly not for everybody. So whether it's for you or it's not for you, you'll probably have a better idea after you've watched this video. First things first, before you start this business, you need to ask yourself, is the product or the service which you are launching already in existence? And if it is, can you find out a way to make it cheaper or better than the competition out there? And if the answer is no, then you're really going to struggle to have any degree of success. If the product or service doesn't already exist, then maybe there's a reason why it doesn't exist. Maybe there's no demand for it, and maybe it's already been tried and tested before and failed miserably. So are you just going to fall into that same category? I would ask friends, I would ask family, see if it is genuinely something that they'd be interested in. Is there potentially a demand for it? If not, then probably best to go back to the drawing board and think about something else. If we take, for example, my swimwear brand Thirst, which I launched in 2019, the main reason why I launched it in the first place was because I couldn't find any good swim shorts on the market that I liked. They were either too long, too ugly, too short, or I just didn't like the material. There was no stretch in them. And for someone like me whose legs do vary quite a bit in terms of their circumference, particularly after training legs, I needed a pair of swim shorts that had a bit of stretch to them, that suited my physique, showed off the hard work that I put in when I was at the gym, and also just looked good, that looked fashionable. So I decided, hey, there's a gap in the market here. There's a lot of people who follow me that are into training, into bodybuilding. Maybe I can offer those people a product which I myself am also looking for. The second thing you need to ask yourself, are you financially prepared for this business which you want to launch? Are you going to be able to keep it afloat during the first 6 months or maybe the first year of operations? And not only that, you'll have the business to take care of, but you've also got yourself to take care of. Will you be able to keep yourself afloat? Will you be able to cover your overheads, the cost of living, food, rent, bills, everything else that you'll need to pay for? That's two things which you need to make sure will be covered. And if you are in a situation where you have no money coming in whatsoever, it's going to be a risky one, and I probably would advise against it. However, if you're in a situation where you've managed to pile up a pretty substantial amount of savings, or you do still have some money coming in on a monthly basis, then you're going to be in a much better situation to handle it. And even if your business does start to do well, maybe it starts to make a little bit of a profit, you're not going to be able to take the profit out of the business and just spend it on yourself. No, the majority of the time you're going to have to reinvest it all back into the business. So realistically, if you have any hopes or visions of living the entrepreneurial lifestyle, living a lavish life, taking private jets, going to all these expensive places, it's not going to be the case. The degree of success of your business is going to have is how little your overheads can be kept during the early stages of opening the business. You're going to almost have to have a monk-like existence, keeping the overheads to an absolute minimum, and any money that you do make, just put it back into the business until you're in a situation where the business is making good money, and then you can start to take away more from it to support yourself and your lifestyle. You also need to understand that most new startups fail, and there is a pretty high chance that your startup is probably going to fail as well. You're probably going to lose money in the process. You're probably going to lose a bit of time in the process as well. A lot of time and effort and sweat will no doubt go into building your first business or one of your businesses, but hey, guess what? At least it's not a complete waste of time in the process. Even if something fails, you will learn a lot from it, and maybe the second, third, fourth, or even 10th business venture might actually be the one that succeeds. So don't put all your hopes and dreams into this first business succeeding, because it's extremely slim chance that the first business you ever start is going to be the one that is going to be a success. You also need to be aware of the fact that being a business owner or a CEO is an extremely stressful job that comes with a lot of responsibility. And are you realistically the type of person that is cut out for that? Most people who go to start businesses probably shouldn't be starting businesses in the first place because they're just not cut out for it. Those people who are the most successful tend to be the ones who can handle the most stress. You're going to be responsible for paying the salary of every single person that you employ. And there's probably going to be a couple of months where you probably don't do as well as previous months. And guess what? Even if the money hasn't come, you still need to pay the salaries of everybody that you employ. And that is a pretty stressful thing and something which I've certainly become more aware of as my company has grown, as I've taken on more members of staff. I can't be fucking around anymore. I can't just go off and go traveling or go party for weeks on end because there's bills to pay, more bills to pay than ever. There's more responsibility than ever. And if the company is not making the money that it should be making, then I'm going to be losing money. What are you going to do on the dark days? Because believe me, when you start a business, there's going to be dark days. Not everything is sunshine and roses. Are you going to be able to stay motivated when shit hits the fan, when things are getting really tough and there's nobody there to help you out? Are you that type of person who can flourish and blossom during the times of adversity? You also need to be responsible for making extremely big decisions. And a lot of these decisions, if they go wrong, they're going to be expensive mistakes. And you're going to need to be able to hold yourself accountable and admit that it was actually you that made the mistake and not other people or your staff. You're also going to need to prepare for quite a lot of alone time. Now, this depends upon the type of business that you start, I guess, but for most entrepreneurs and business owners, when they launch their first business, they're doing the majority of the work. There is no team to socialize with. You are the team. You are doing the job of many. Maybe further down the line, when you start to employ more people, you maybe will feel a little bit more social interacting with your employees. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when their shift is over and done with, they leave the office, you're the only one left. And a lot of your friends and family who go off and do the normal things like socializing on a weekend, going to the pub, going on holidays, whatever it might be, you're realistically going to need to say no a lot of the time because you need to focus on your business. And not everybody is in the similar situation to you. And realistically, you'll need to come to terms with the fact that your relationships are probably going to suffer. Maybe your relationship with your family might suffer because you don't see them as often as you like to. They might suffer with your friends because your friends are going out and about and having fun, but you have to say no because you're busy focusing on your business. And then even your partner. The majority of the time, it's probably best that you just don't have a relationship with anyone when you're starting off building your business. It's certainly an approach which I believe in. Okay, if you really want something to work, you have to put all of your time and energy and focus into making this thing work. You don't have the time and energy to also try and keep your partner happy, particularly a partner who's going to be quite demanding of your time and energy. Maybe you found someone who is going to be there with you and is going to be supporting you through thick and thin and can handle you being an absolute workaholic, working absolutely nonstop. Maybe they've got their own thing going on, but the majority of the time, I've had to end relationships when I've made big business moves or taken risks or relocated because I've just really wanted to make that thing work. And I know that my partner, my ex-partners in the past, they really do deserve to be with someone who is going to give them a lot more time and effort. And that's something at that point in time certainly was not able to do. So I had to end it. Every single person that I know who has their own business, particularly those people that have a successful business, they are absolutely obsessed with it. It's borderline an unhealthy obsession with their business. Like all day, every day, for 95% of their time, it's focused on their business. And then without a doubt, they've had to make a lot of sacrifices. They don't have a normal life. And the majority of the people who aspire to be in a position that they're in are definitely not cut out for it. They're just seduced by the perks of being an entrepreneur and don't take into account all the downsides that come with it. It's like Ronnie Coleman said,
everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but don't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weight.
It's very true. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur and have a successful business, but not many people are prepared to put in all of the work that is required to get to that point. And I'm going to finish this video with a quote from the wise Alex Hormozy. There are two outcomes once you get into business. One, it eventually works. Two, you give up before it does. That's it. So that is it, folks. Hopefully you have taken something positive from this video. And for any of you guys who are looking to start up a business in the future at some point, best of luck. I would say it is definitely worth it, but only if you're strong enough. It is most definitely not easy. And I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys who've been watching all my videos in the past and continue to do so, and everybody who's ever purchased something of mine, particularly if it's been my training program, the Thirst app, or any of the items of my clothing. Big sales on at the moment, which you can now take advantage of, but only for a limited time only. Link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.